You are now listening.
You are now listening
to the Black Male Educators Alliance podcast.
Lifting our voices.
Lifting our voices.
Welcome back to another episode of the BMEA Podcast, Lifting Our Voices. I am your co-host, Michael Payne. I'm here with the illustrious, you already know who that is, Dr. Curtis Lewis.
This guy.
All right, how you guys feeling?
Good.
We're going to get to our guests in a second, but May is Mental Health Month, so I always want to check in first to say, how are you feeling? Tell me.
Man, I'm feeling good, man. It's been a busy month of May.
Absolutely.
Busy month of April. Busy year.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling good. Getting excited about the gala. We still gonna have that, you know, that discussion.
Yes.
Looking forward to that, man. It's a lot of moving pieces, but I'm excited. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Like you said, it's been a busy month. It's been a very busy year. A good busy, right? Our work is increasing, so the needs increasing, but it's getting warmer, which is good for my health, mental health. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Mikey just had a birthday, and shout out to the BMEA team. They put together his gift for him, man.
Wait,
so,
I gotta pause you on that because I posted about this.
Listen,
so we go over this guy's house, you know, bring the kids because you know that's what we do. We're family, right?
Family.
We bring the kids over for the podcast. Felt like it was a podcast. I felt like I was working. Drop the kids. You know. I think I'm gonna drop the kids off and move on. This guy, I get there, Bush is already there, taking our stuff out the box. First thing I said, I ain't putting nothing together.
Yeah.
And I got here. And I did the opposite of what I said. Man, the trampoline wasn't even put up. It wasn't even out the box. We spent the entire 2.5 hours. It's like 4 of us working on putting the trampoline together. Wow. But the kids enjoyed it.
They did.
It was good for them. But I swear when I put that trampoline up, I left. It was like...
He did.
All right, nephew, happy birthday. We out. But, you know, it was nice. It was a good bonding experience.
It was
unexpected, though.
I appreciate it. And it's one time, so it's up now, so you can jump on it whenever you come by.
Oh, don't worry. I'm going to just stop by there just to, relieve some stress. Oh, don't worry about it.
Listen,
you ain't even got to be there because it's just the backyard.
Backyard's open, yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
Casa su casa.
Hey, no problem.
Man, so, but no, that's good. That's good. You know, we're in basketball fan. We're deep into the playoffs now. We got into the Eastern and Western Conference Finals. How you feeling about that? What you got?
Bulls
not in there tonight.
I'm a Bulls fan, so I really, we ain't did nothing since '98. But LeBron and the Lakers, man, they surprising me. I ain't gonna even lie, I'm that guy. Like I love LeBron as a person, I really do.
Yeah.
But I'm like a Jordan fan, so I always like, man, you ain't getting. I don't want you to get that 5th one.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna hit him. I mean, the brother get his 5th one, he get his 5th one. But I feel like that one in the bubble don't count. But so to me, he still got 4 if he gets his 5th one.
Glad you mentioned that because my prediction is Miami Lakers. Well, that's what I would prefer. Miami's Lakers championship, so that the bubble championship would get some redemption because that'd be a rematch of the bubble if they make it.
I think
Lakers
Miami.
Miami. You said what?
Denver, that's gonna be a rematch.
I mean, Denver's probably
a
is really good team.
Denver probably gonna get them.
You know, hope wishful think you can't bet against LeBron right now. So,
but just real quick though, I gotta point out my daughter's going on prom.
Is she?
Friday.
Wow.
Cass Tech prom Friday.
Man, time flies.
So I'm getting the house together. Man.
Time flies.
Yeah, she's going on prom on Friday, so getting that. It's a busy week, busy next few weeks.
Yeah,
because Cavs they do a whole bunch of stuff. They prom, they do this. So I'm excited, but also kind of like nervous a little bit. The only girl, so I'm
you gotta make it special.
Protective.
Yeah,
it's gonna be special.
That's a big moment. Yeah, that is. That is.
Pray for me.
I got you, man.
And him. Anyway,
Terence, who you got in the playoffs, man?
Denver, Miami.
That sounds about right.
Denver, Miami. Denver has a solid squad.
Yeah.
1 through 9. I think LeBron and AD has accomplished a lot.
Yeah.
But I think that they were mismatched for Golden State, obviously, for various reasons, because they're long and athletic at those most valuable positions. And it really came down to 3 versus 3. Draymond, Jordan Poole, Looney versus Reeves, and the other 2 backups for the Lakers. And the Lakers got the best of them.
Yeah.
They wingspan. And so with Golden State being an older squad, man, they got to make some real significant moves.
Yeah.
I thought that Steve Kerr got out coached. I thought that Steve Kerr should have played Kuminga a lot sooner.
Yeah.
Not just garbage time, but he could have his length and his athletic ability probably could have disrupted a Lonnie, a Walker, or a Reeves when guys get going.
Yeah.
So all they was doing was a 1-4 trying to get Steph on the island and attack Steph.
Yeah.
You know, you got somebody that's a little longer, athletic, they can block shots. And so they played into LeBron in them hands, really, man. LeBron has just a high IQ. That's why I say he's the GOAT. I know a lot of people don't want to relinquish Michael Jordan. Jordan is great in his own field, but this guy's Oscar Robertson, Magic, and Scotty all in one.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. To your point, I think that Denver does have the size too, so it's not too much of a Laker advantage. To me, I think it's going to be Joker versus AD. Like whoever has the better series, I think ends up winning.
First of all, this guy Terence on here sounding like Stephen A. Smith. I just want to point that out. Like I'm sitting here like, but we just be like haphazard, like this man broke it down player by player. I'm sitting here like, wait, did we just turn into a sports show? Like, let's talk about some more sports, man. This man just
I had more questions too.
I was like, man, like, say some more about that. I mean, I don't agree with the GOAT thing. We ain't gonna argue that today. But man, I'm like, break that down. Anyway, that's what's up. I appreciate it.
And I love a Jamal Murray. I think Jamal Murray got something to prove coming off an injury.
Yeah.
I think that whole Denver squad got something to prove.
Yeah.
KCP, an ex-Laker.
Yeah.
You talking about Brown. He's a utility guy that can get you buckets at 6'3", 6'4", with quickness and hunger. And the Joker, obviously, his skill set is at a high level.
Yeah.
I'm looking for Denver, man, probably Denver in 6.
Okay.
You know, Miami with Jimmy Buckets, and this the way the Heat culture. I had a college teammate that played for Miami, and that Heat culture is second to none, man. And their work ethic, and Jimmy Buckets is leading them guys, he's on his shoulder, and he's going to carry them to the championship, man.
Yeah.
So I think Denver's going to win it all.
Welcome to BMEA First Take.
Yes.
ESPN.
Mark, so
Coming to you live.
we put the predictions now because we're gonna see, Nostradamus. So we got our picks in. That's great. So a couple other, local current events, man, current like hot topics. The Michigan House Democrats, they are looking to increase the spending for students this year, which is a good thing. Obviously, it's never really enough, I feel, just working in schools, but they are looking to increase the budget, which I know was a big issue because a lot of schools were worried that the budget was going to decrease after all the COVID relief dropped. So they are looking to increase that budget. So I think it's being proposed recently, and should be passed soon, God willing. So that'll be good for a lot of schools, obviously in this tough area, because our kids are still academically needing a lot more support academically and emotionally. So every dollar counts. And I know across the country, people keeping up with the news, education is getting attacked. Public school education getting attacked in a lot of spaces. And as much as I complain about the code, I do appreciate Michigan as a state in terms of, them trying to do comparatively better in other states in terms of like the funding their schools. So
yeah, we were almost, man. Michigan turned it around because I was nervous a few years in the 2016 election. I was a little nervous about the direction of Michigan. So I think we kind of turned it around a little bit, at least for now. So we'll see. Yeah. I mean, they were trying to do stuff like, people were introducing bills like Florida, but it just wasn't going anywhere. Yeah. Right? It wasn't getting the traction. But I don't see it going down. I mean, Detroit is the blackest city in the country, so I just don't see it going down that easy like that. Right. But yeah, it was, people attempted to do it. So I'm excited about what we're trying to do. Well, I'm hopeful. I guess I'm excited. I'm hopeful that we won't become a Texas or a Florida. But people were trying. And they tried in other places too. So I think I say this all the time. Our biggest weapon is voting. We can march all day, which I'm all for that. But if we don't go out and vote these folks, get the right folks in there that's going to be advocating for the things we advocate for, we're going to keep doing all this talking. And people going to keep making these decisions. So I think, and I think, BME, I think when the time comes, I think we got to, not go around picking people, but being advocates for folks signing up, registering for voting, the young folks. We got to get the young folks out. Yeah. There's a huge demographic of folks who don't vote as much, and they would make a difference. They made a difference in, to a degree in Chicago. You're right. With that, the new mayor down there. I keep pointing it out because I think, he was against the machine. and he had other people going out against him, and the young folks and the folks showed up and showed out, and that is actually who helped him get into office, because he didn't have the money, right? And people were very, very shocked, but it was the young folks. So we gotta understand the value of the young vote, and we gotta do our part in doing that. But anyway, I know we got a bunch of stuff we gotta talk about. We got to get this man talking, because he gonna turn ESPN to like
we do
CNN analyst in a minute. So we go ahead and kick us off.
So before I get to our special guest, he's here for a reason, and we'll get to that point. We do have an event coming up, right?
It's connected to that.
It's the BMEA Gala. Or as Stacy would say, the BMEA Gala. Right. So shouts out to Stacy. But yes, we have our gala on June 3rd. It is sold out.
Like
crazy.
We increased the numbers yesterday.
Yep.
And within, an hour or less, done. So yes. I know I'm getting texts, I'm getting like Instagram messages, Facebook messages. Man, like we ain't got no room. And one thing I'm not about is us running around here like screen stuff, can't move around. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
So we reached the max of the museum that's allowed.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Not another human. Sorry, but next year though, get your tickets early,
right?
Because it will sell out again.
And we'll get a bigger venue if necessary. And I like Charles Wright. I think it's going to be a real classy event. But I think that people are going to pick up this momentum and see. We want to do this every year, right? Make this an event for educators all over the state every year. So I'm super excited about that. We are sold out June 3rd, 6 p.m. at the Charles Wright Museum. And this gala is actually for us to celebrate our educators, right? Absolutely. So we had some nominations for some awards, right? And we have picked our winners. And I wanted to go through some of those winners today.
It was hard, though, by the way.
Absolutely.
Just so y'all know the part, we just won randomly. Some great nominations. First of all, people before Payne introduced the folks.
Yes.
It was tough. It was tough. Had a lot of really great nomination, great people. So shout out to all the people who didn't win. Just continue doing the work you're doing. We're gonna do this every single year, and so if you didn't get an opportunity this year to shine, you're gonna shine. But keep on shining in your space. Your time is coming. But it was really great to see what people are here doing. So I'm looking forward to meeting the winners this year. For those who I don't know, and also doing this again next year. And so don't get discouraged. Keep doing what you're doing. And you're doing, and the work is important because you're doing it from the heart.
Right.
So if you're doing it from the heart, you'll get recognized. And the only person I need to recognize all the time is God himself. So right. I'm good. No,
yeah, absolutely. And for people, definitely, as the year goes on, think of your community change agents, your teachers of the year, your administrators of the year, students of the year, all those nominations as the year goes on this next year. Think of those guys so you can nominate them. Because there's some really great nominations, I would say that, absolutely. And so shouts to all our nominees. But I'll go through the list now so that we can announce our winners for this year. And the first award is the Community Change Agent of the Year award, right? And so this award recognizes an individual and organization that has made significant impact on the communities through their leadership, advocacy, and service. This award will have demonstrated a commitment to improving the lives of those in their community and will have taken action to address such issues as poverty, homelessness, or education. This individual will have inspired others to get involved and will have made a lasting impact on the community. Our Change Agent of the Year actually is Mr. Tarence Wheeler. Mr. Tarence Wheeler himself. There you go.
Come on, man. Come on. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Oh, the Tarence Wheeler Foundation. And so we're going to have talk with him about his organization in a little bit. I do want to announce the rest of our winners. So we also have the Student Change Agent of the Year, which is Miss Alana Hill.
Okay.
Shouts out to Miss Alana Hill. All right, this award recognizes a student who's made a significant impact on their school and community through their leadership, advocacy, and service. They've demonstrated a commitment to making a positive change and will have taken action to address issues such as social justice, equity, and environmental sustainability. So shouts out to Miss Alana Hill. And I believe she's at UPA High Senior. So shouts out to her. Our next award is Transformative School Leader of the Year. This award recognizes a school leader who has transformed their school by creating a positive, inclusive, and supportive learning environment. This recipient will have demonstrated exceptional leadership skills, innovative approaches to education, and a commitment to continuous improvement. Right? Our Transformative School Leader of the Year is Mr. D'Angelo Farmer from Bradford Elementary School. Shouts out to Mr. Farmer. Shouts out to him. and our Transformative Teachers of the Year. So this one I think was the hardest.
It was. They always hard. The community and the teacher one was very difficult.
A lot of organizations doing great work for
Yes.
sure. The Teacher of the Year, a lot of nominations. We actually have a male and female award winner this year. So this award is to recognize a teacher who has made a significant impact on their students, school, and community. The recipient of this award will have demonstrated a commitment to excellence in teaching, innovative pedagogy, and a deep understanding of their students' needs. Our male winner is Mr. Isaiah Williams of the Teacher Wellness PLC, yes sir, and Miss Desiree Fuller from Oak Park High School,
That's right.
local community. So congratulations to both of them. And our last two awards are for the BMEA Legacy Award. So this award was created to honor a veteran educator who paved the way, laid the foundation so that movements like ours could exist and thrive. This educator has been dedicated to the work and represented for Black Male Educators Alliance since it was founded. So we celebrate our elders in the work and honor them while they're still among us. This award winner has been with us since day one, absolutely. Absolutely. So this is shout out to Mr. Joseph Hines Sr. Shouts out to him. And our last award is for BMEA Ambassador Award. This award recognizes an individual who has demonstrated exceptional dedication and support for the mission and values of BMEA. The recipient of this award will have played a key role in advancing BMEA's goals, initiatives, as well as demonstrated a commitment to excellence in education. This individual will have served a role model and advocate for BMEA who have made significant impact on the organization's success. Our award winner is Mr. Marty Bulger of East English Village Prep Academy. Shout out, Mr. Bulger. Absolutely, man. So, our community changing agent of the year, Mr. Tarence Wheeler. How you doing?
Man, I am phenomenal, man. Blessed to be here.
Thank you for coming and joining us. Can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself and what the work that you do?
My name is Tarence Wheeler, born and raised in Southwest Detroit. Went to the great Southwestern High School, School of Champions. Played for the legendary Perry Watson. Got a basketball scholarship to Arizona State University. From there, graduated with a degree in criminal justice. Went overseas and played 12 years in countries like Brazil, Venezuela, Argentina. Man, was an international star. Came back to Detroit to help my community. But if I, really told you what really happened in my childhood, I'll be just like these other kids, man. A mother that was on drugs and a father that was absent. I spent 240 lousy minutes with my father, and three of those hours was at his funeral. The other hour, I'm just giving it to him. Maybe he came back when I was a kid. I didn't know he was there. But my whole purpose in life, man, is to be able to help kids cross the finish line, be a child advocate, a champion for young people, to love them past their pain, to let them know that it's not your conditions, but yet your decision-making that will determine your destiny. And the most expensive thing we do, Payne, in this world is put the wrong adults in front of young people who like them, but they don't love them, brother. Every day should be count day. Every day we have to be accountable to young people. The time multiplied by effort gives you the reward. Put that time in and that effort, that desire, that kid can cross the finish line. Far too often, man, we are blaming kids. They just born into certain situations that really have nothing to do with them. And by God's grace, man, we have some resources that we want to be able to pass on to young people that you too can be successful just making right decisions, man.
Absolutely.
Man, so first of all, you see why he's our community change agent.
Bingo.
There you have it. But I got a question, man. I want to dig a little deeper. So he said I was going to warm up. So if you don't mind, I want to dig in a little because I think this has been on my heart the last few months for a while. You said something about, your dad. You calculated the amount of minutes, right, that you spend time with him. Because I think, we got a lot of folks who dealing with, whether it's a mom or a dad or have strange relationships with their parent, but, don't know how to, overcome or what's the process of getting beyond that. Talk a little bit about, because you're here and you're doing great things. Just go back a little bit. When the absence began to really hurt or impact you, what steps and what did you do? What was your process to getting to where you're at now, where you can speak about it and also speak about it in a way that, it's not disrespectful, but speaking about it in a way that you are acknowledging what was missing, but how that helped you become who you are today.
Thank you, man. That's a great question, Doc. But here's what happened, man. I saw my mother, just her going through all that with her drug use. Yeah. And then just realized, I remember I caught 2 buses to Southwestern, but how I got to Southwestern was unique. So my 8th grade coach, Mr. Perk, he said, man, I'm coming by on Wednesday to talk to, I was on Tuesday, so I'm coming by to see your mother tomorrow. I had 5 high schools that was recruiting me. Western, Chadsey, St. Hedwig, Bishop Borges, and Murray Wright. I was going to go to Murray Wright because I played softball at Murray Wright, baseball. It wasn't that far from my grandma's house. Mr. Perk was like, no, you don't need to go to Southwest. You don't need to go to Murray Wright. You need to go to Southwestern. I'm coming by to talk to your mama tomorrow. So now on the bus ride home, I'm just praying that my mother is in the right frame of mind, that, you know, she not high, that she can receive what Mr. Perk wanted to talk to her about. Man, God stepped in, brother. And on Wednesday, Mr. Perk came by. My mother was sober. And he said, hey, Miss Wheeler, he doesn't need to go to Murray Wright. He needs to go over to Southwestern with Perry Watson. Perry got these guys going to school. He's a disciplinarian. That's the environment he needs to be in. My mother said, you sure, Mr. Perk? She believed in him. From then, we got on the Joy Road bus, man, went to DPS. The headquarters was at where Straight Gate is now on Grand River. I have no idea what my mother said. She went in there, and she said, hey, my son needs to go to Southwestern. Whatever she told the people. Came back out and gave me the paperwork. Here you go. At this particular time, bro, you just couldn't transfer. You had to go to your neighboring schools, your feeder schools. Right. Going to Southwestern, that environment changed everything for me, man. Seeing Antoine Jobert, who was the #1 high school player in the country. He was LeBron with a Jerry curl. So you seeing college coaches, and I knew that if I just listen to Coach Watson and I stick and stay, my chance is gonna come. But I remember when guys would have their fathers at the game, at a baseball game or at a basketball game, and they'll be kissing their little fella and saying, man, go out there and do well. My mind, I'm focused on that kid. I'm gonna outplay this kid. I'm gonna wish him. He gonna wish his son played as well as I played. So that dysfunction kicked in, and that was my driving force until I got to college, and I realized, man, I got to do something about this. And so my father came to visit one time at my grandmother's house, and I had so much resentment and anger inside of me. I hated this dude because you could have and you didn't. Yeah. I had nothing to do with you and my mother breaking up. You have a child here. So I thought about all the time I want a bus on 2 buses. I've got to go to camp. I got to go different places. You wasn't a financial provider. So I was pissed, bro. And I hated him. And so when he came that one time to my grandmother's house, I said, man, I used to hate you. I said, well, I don't even hate you no more because I don't even know you. I said, you're just another brother on the street. I said, I cannot hate somebody I don't know. I said, but from here on out, I don't need you to come by anymore. Because I was trying to retain somebody that God already removed. God had replaced him with other men. Perry Watson, Jake Boyd, Grandison, Coach Smith, Coach Patterson. Guys that poured into me, that showed me this is how you're supposed to act. This is what you're supposed to do. And at the end of the day, man, I stand on their shoulders. Like, I can't get it wrong, bro. Like, I got it from here on out. I got to get it right. I got about 25 summers left. I'm an old man. I got to get it right, bro. So I don't lie to kids. I don't, man, I tell them the truth, bro. Now, I tell them, of course, in the language they can understand, but I'm not going to lie to a child because you will represent what they just came from. Yeah. And you got to be careful of that, bro. So I figured out that I'm going to turn this negative into a positive. That I'm going to be there for young people. I'm not going to leave them because so many people didn't leave me, man. They believed in me when I didn't believe in myself, bro. So I owe it to my community. I owe it to those old heads that believed in me. And so at the end of the day, man, I'm gonna leave this earth on empty. Yeah. Man. So you get look. Yeah. Nah, I think we just gonna go there today. Let's go.
We just gonna go there today. I felt it when you started talking. Like, oh yeah, we about to go there today. Yeah. So man, first of all, that was powerful, right? And I think I wanted you to share that, man, because I think oftentimes we have a lot of kids who are experiencing what you experienced, but they choose, like, you know how you said something really important. I was looking at that kid and that dad and how that kid was embraced by his dad, and I said, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna show him. I wish his son could play like me. Yeah. We all have that. We all have done in any kind of way, whether it's on the court or somewhere else, or we bullying a kid or whatever, because there's something that we're dealing with ourselves. Yeah. So for you to be able to unpack that and share that, man, that's tremendous. But I want to dig further. I'm going to let Payne jump in because I got like 10 questions now. So I think, one, your passion is driven by your experience, right? But one of the things you mentioned is the amount of people that you choose not to let down. Yeah. Let's talk about a little bit about that, because I think when we talk about the reason why we have this organization, it's because of all those brothers that stood in the gap for your dad, right? But I don't think we talk about that piece enough, right? And I think it's important for our folks, for you to share, like, why do you think those men, like, why do you, I know you mentioned, like, I don't want to disappoint them, but, like, why do you think it's important for us to have black men in our spaces that's being able to stand in the gap for students like you?
And representation matters. And so when I talk to a kid, and I keep it 100 with a kid, like, I've been through what you've been through, everything except sexual abuse. Yeah, I've been homeless. When you are evicted and you go live with your auntie, you homeless. You are, I've been hungry. Yeah. I've been robbed. I've been in a drug raid. I grew up in a dope house. So my mother, not only she used drugs, we sold drugs. So I've been in all kind of environments just to God, but grace and mercy bestowed upon me cannot be in vain, bro. I'm talking about, I can go back, Doc, when I went to visit my grandfather in New Orleans. And I take the bus. I get there, man, an 18-hour ride. I get there on a Wednesday. Thursday, we go to Mississippi. Thursday night, I go to bed at 9:30. That morning, which is like Friday morning, it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, my uncle wakes me up. My grandfather had got shot twice, tied up and shot twice. I slept through the whole ordeal, man. So my life cannot be in vain, bro. It's got to add value and be an asset. So those guys who stood in the gap, I owe them because they didn't have to do it, but they did it. They gave up their time, their gas money. They picked us all up, dropped us all up, made sure we were safe. That's all we created is a safe space for kids. So when Jake Boyd picked me up after he's worked all day at the plant, pick me up on the boulevard in Michigan, go pick up Terrence Gamble, go pick up Tudor, go pick up DeVezy Crockett, and drop us all off safe, how do I not make sure this kid who come to school is in a safe space, regardless of your sexual orientation? That don't matter to me. Once a kid get to school, bro, they done their job. Their success is predicated on adult participation. What are you going to do to help that child? Are you going to sit here and criticize that kid, pull your pants up? But guess what? If we raise his dreams, raise his aspirations, he'll raise his pants. If we go get her a good skirt, a good bra, go get her what she needs, she's coming to school every day looking for you, and she'll run through a wall for you. Because guess what? Her name is heaven, but she's living in hell every day just to get to a loving, caring adult. I dare you mistreat that child when she's on a bus at 4:30 in the morning going cross town for opportunities. Quit playing, man. Quit playing. We got the wrong adults in front of kids every day who's saying, you know what, you ain't gonna be nothing. Man, these kids come to school, they want something. They want guidance and direction. So if Jake Boyd and Perry Watson didn't get that to me, I wouldn't have it, bruh. I would be just a guy with a jump shot.
Payne, go ahead, man.
No, I mean, I think we're here. My next question was, part of your mission said, powerless kids need powerful friends. And I think you described a little bit about the men in your life, but talk more about what that means to you in terms of your organization, your foundation.
Man, listen, bro, it means everything to me. When I go to school at River Mancy, I'm the director of corporate and community affairs at River Rouge School District. River Rouge is a second home to me. I grew up in Southwest Detroit. I went to Southwestern. My high school teammate, Marcus Webb, lived on Polk Street. I spent many a night in River Rouge before I got this job. I drove up and down those blocks. I know those people. It means something to me, bruh. I know that it's geographically, economically, and politically challenged. Ain't nobody coming. We got to come. If not us, then who? If not now, then when? What we waiting on, bruh? If you know what they need. Why they got to ask? If you hungry and homeless, you ain't thinking about homework. Get them kids. You want to close the achievement gap? Give them their basic needs. Make sure that kid got clean underwear, socks. Love that kid like it'll be your own. So that's a powerful friend. These kids are over here begging you to do your job. And you sit around here gossiping about kids. You know, you sit out here putting kids on blast. No, man, love that kid. Drive every teacher, anybody that's dealing with young people should drive up and down the blocks in which they come from. Know that terrain. Whether you a bus aide, a lunch aide, a coach, a teacher, I don't care what if you're dealing with young people, know where they come from. You would better serve them. But see, you can never serve them if you don't know them, Payne. You got to know these kids. I sit in the lunchroom with them, bro, and I break bread with them. And they'll tell you what they need. See, far too often, we're projecting what we think you need. Let me talk to, because Payne needs something different than what Doc needs. What you need, Payne? Man, listen, Mr. Wheeler, our lights and gas cut off. Man, you better have a relationship with DTE, bro. You better be proactive, because their parents are parenting in poverty. And poverty itself is exhausting. You got to be undefeated when you parenting in poverty, bro.
Right.
You got to be Floyd Mayweather. The alternator can't go out. The hot water tank can't go out. Nothing can happen. And we already know that there was a pandemic of poverty long before the coronavirus hit. The virus just exacerbated the need. So somebody better stand in that gap for that kid.
Yeah.
Tell me about, I read in the nomination, and whoever wrote the nomination was like, shout out to her. I think it was she killed it. What was important, what stood out to me was this partnership that you had with DTE. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Man.
That was, I was done after that. I was
That's
like,
personal, bro. That's personal.
Man,
That's personal, man, because like I said, go through your childhood, your adverse childhood experiences. I know what it feel like, Doc, to click that light switch and the lights don't come on. You got candles. I know it's like not to have gas. So when you take these positions in these certain communities, once again, you know the terrain. If you're 97, 98% free or reduced lunch, you know what you're dealing with. So why not be proactive and build relationships that have value?
That's right.
So we could be proactive and create a relationship with DTE. So now I get that mother, that father, that guardian on a payment plan. Early, like September, October, because we know the hawk is coming. We know it's going to get cold.
It's coming.
It's coming, right?
It's coming. Every year it's coming. Yeah.
So let's go ahead and be proactive.
Yeah.
So now you get on a payment plan from November to March. Let's help get your rearages paid. Because now what happens, brother, is these kids are adulting. They're 10, 11, 12 years old coming to me and saying, Mr. Wheeler, I like cut off. That kid is thinking, how do I help my mom and daddy? And they may do something uncharacteristic to help the family. Let's be proactive. So that whole thing, and that morphed into way more than I ever thought, Doc. I was fortunate and blessed to be at the table, man, to help facilitate a new air filtration system for our elementary school that hadn't had any upgrades in almost 50 years. You're talking about kids. See, they don't talk about that downriver, the environment, brother. You talking about 25 to 30% asthmatic kids in the elementary school. So if we can create or build a new air filtration system, the teacher is teaching in a positive mode. Because now I'm in a healthy place.
Right.
The kids are in a healthy place. You're limiting nosebleeds and et cetera, et cetera. To be able to get $830,000 during the pandemic, bruh, it's the best thing I ever did in my life, man.
That's great.
To help get this new air filtration system that we'll have completed in August. Oh, man, it's dope, man. I'm fortunate to be a conduit, an imperfect vessel that God has at the table, brother.
Man, let's do it. So I know you got a box here, you got a T-shirt here.
Man.
Talk about what you brought.
So this right here is part of our feminine hygiene campaign. So about 6 years ago, I'm walking down the hallway and I see a young lady in the corner. She's crying, and she said, "Mr. Wheeler, I'm on my period." She don't have any pads or pain liners. I thought right there, that's a non-academic barrier to education. Barriers belong on the freeway, not in education. So let's alleviate some of these barriers. Started the program, man. Year to date, we probably collected about 15,000 pads. These kids can go to any of their schools. Anywhere in that school, there's a resource room. They go see Miss Johnson, go see Miss Smiley. Get what you need. Education is never disrupted, bro. So now you're not being embarrassed. You don't have to be where kids are talking about you, because kids are cruel, even though they may be in a worse situation than you.
Right.
But at the end of the day, is giving these kids what they need. So, and now, and because of the pandemic, this is now an expensive item. So if you can't, so at our mobile food pantry, we passing pads out as well as pet food. Because if you can't feed yourself, you ain't got money for this, you ain't got money for pet food. And so at the end of the day, man, how do we wrap our arms around the community, give them what they need, man? I'm talking about at the end of the day, man, we just want to disrupt poverty, bro.
I love it.
We want to disrupt poverty. We want to let kids know that we love you. That we love you. Like, regardless of your decision making, we love
That shirt
you.
again, man. That shirt, man. So where do you get these shirts from?
I got that made, brother. I got that made, man. I'll have different little sayings for kids, man.
Let's do it for the camera.
To be able to say, man, listen, man, you're going to be successful. You know what I mean? Regardless of your situation. It's not the conditions, your decision making. Surround yourself with good people. You're going to be successful. And so when we tell you we love you, man, we love you. Like, I love you past any pain that you're going through.
Yeah.
Because all you need is one champion.
Yeah.
In that building. One champion to say, listen, man, you can make it. Yeah. I believe in you. What you need me to pray for you? No one is successful by themselves. Somebody has to nurture and support your greatness. Yeah. Quit playing, man.
Yeah.
Raise yourself by your bootstraps. You ain't got no boots.
Right.
Quit playing, man.
Yeah.
Get that kid what they need. Get these families what they need. I can't help the family if I don't help mom and daddy. We do a felony expungement program, doing free taxes, whatever it takes to help these families, bro.
Yeah.
That's all it's about, is the family.
So tell me, because I'm going to keep this shirt up for a minute. Because this is real. And I think what you're talking about, I think is important, right? I think at the end of the day, even the work we're trying to do, we're not as intentional about something, but this is what we're trying to do, right? But I want to ask you a question around sort of like, if you had the magic wand, if you got the magic wand, you're doing a lot of magic.
Yeah.
So, but just say if you could spread it across, what would be one or two things? Because you've harped on, and I'm not harping and said in a negative way. You've mentioned a number of times we got the wrong adults in front of kids, and I that is something that sticks with me a lot because I talk about who do we have in front of kids because some of us ain't doing right by kids, right? So talk about a little bit about if you could, put your magic wand out there, shift things. What would be the top 2 or 3 things that you would do that every kid would have access to no matter what school they go to?
First of all, what I would do, I've had a few intense conversations with the governor. I would be intentional about hiring black men. Number one, I'll be very intentional about hiring black men. Incentivize whatever we need to do. I will pay. The pay scale has to increase.
Yep.
Okay, that's a couple of them. And now for children, it's all access. I'm giving them access to whatever they want. So you got kids that want to do culinary arts. I would go back to skills. I would go back to vocational schools. That VOTEC has to be in every school because every kid ain't going to Michigan or Michigan State. Some kids want to go straight to the labor force, want to create their own business. Let's start these kids with LLCs when they walk out of high school. Let's get these kids to chase their passion. I would change the curriculum to make school fun. That 5th and 6th hour, that left wing should be about what you want to do. It should not be about what I want you to do. It's what you want to do. You want to do hair? You want to own your own barber salon? You want to do small engines? You want to be a carpenter? You want to be a mechanic? You want to be whatever you want to be. Let's create that space. Let's create a safe space for kids, man. It's real simple. But leadership creates culture. Leadership has to push that down to say, you know what? This line item has to change. It's about making sure I got money over here for culinary arts. Teaching these kids etiquette. So we take kids, I take kids everywhere with me. From River Rouge to the Townsend. We're going to sit down and show you how to eat properly in a five-star hotel. I'm going to take you out here to the Motor City Casino in front of the CEO of Delta, and you're going to look up in their face, and you ain't going to be intimidated by nobody.
That's right.
We fear no one. Because you got what it takes. Just take what you got to make it happen.
Right.
But if you don't have the resources, the monies that's needed, you'll always be behind the 8 ball. Yep. We got to raise more money for these public schools, and we got to hold them accountable when they get the bag.
Yeah, I think you made up a good point. A lot of what you're talking about is just the school being more a part of the community, right? Yeah. And like what we're teaching kids needs to reflect what the community needs, or what we're doing for kids need to reflect what the community needs. I think you mentioned with the VOTEC and the culinary arts and what we talked about before, like they took arts and music out of schools, right? So that they can specialize in certain schools and so that they can really push college on my generation and like really push college. But the cost of that was, like you said, kids don't have the trades, kids don't have skills, kids can't really chase their dreams because everything is one-dimensional in our schools. That's a good point. I actually ran into one of our old students. I was going to put some air in my son's tire, and he pulled up on me in the truck, and I taught him in 9th grade, and he said, "Mr. Payne, man, how you doing?" I'm like, "Man, how you doing, man? You look good." He said, "Yeah, man, I got my own heating and cooling company, man. I'm doing real well for myself." Like, that was his words. I'm doing real well for myself. And I was glad to hear it, but I was so shocked because I was like, I hadn't heard a young kid that I had say those words. Like, I'm doing real well for myself. You know what I mean? And I think that's what we want. We want our kids to do well for themselves, whatever it is they choose to do, but we got to give them the tools and resources to be able to get there and the support. And I know he had, support along the way, and he'll speak to, how great it was to be in a building with black men, like you said before, because I think that there has to be a balance, right? That a lot of our schools are predominantly women, and they are doing a good work. And we talk about having better people in front of our kids, but we also talk about having better representation. Absolutely. So that kids can have the positive role model that they can follow behind. Because like you said, kids they're not the problem.
Yeah.
They're never the problem. It's the sources, the resources, it's the adults, it's the opportunity, man. So I really love that you're also talking about giving them kids opportunities and experiences, because I think that's what helps them aspire to want to do well for themselves.
Yeah, and you know what, Payne, man, I rarely talk about my athletic abilities. I rarely harp on that. It's not important. I don't talk about beta, gamma, sigma, graduating with my MBA. I don't talk about those things because those kids, man, what's in front of your name and behind your name
They
is
do not
irrelevant.
care. Absolutely.
Are you going to help me? Can you help me? Can you help me right now? Because that 411, once you get that information, it's now 911. Yeah. I need you right now. Can you help me? And you spoke about success, basically, man, and that's a simple thing, is setting a goal and accomplishing it. We got a success. Success is these kids are coming to school every day. They're making it to and from. They're living their dream. Let's help them. Let's encourage them to do more. And that's one thing I think make River Rouge School District so attractive is the vast programs that we have. Entrepreneurial, you got culinary arts, band. Man, listen, if I go back to my childhood, I remember a kid named Maestro. He could pop a Willie from West Grand Boulevard of Michigan to Tiger Stadium. Bro, why he ain't in the X Games? You know what I'm saying? Access. Poverty ain't just about money. It limits access to people that can help you. Yeah. These kids are great. They want to be great. But when adults have failed them miserably. And so I don't want to be that. I'm not going to be that. I'm not their friend, but I am a resource to those young people.
Yeah.
They got my cell phone number, and I ain't scared of young people, bro. I speak to them. And let me say this, man. You talked about your wish list. I wish that every person that interacts with kids just do one thing. It's 5 days in a work week, 5 days in a school week. You talk to that kid every day. Hey, Payne, how you doing? 5 times a week, okay? It's 4 weeks of the month. That's 20 conversations you've had with Payne. Over a 10-month period, that's 2 in the context, you and Payne got a relationship. You know what's going on with Payne mama, his grandma, whoever that caregiver is, because you broke bread with Payne. You wasn't afraid of Payne. You didn't run when Payne made a mistake or he used a curse word. Man, that's their vocabulary, bro. Quit playing. Get past that.
Yeah.
Because there's something deeper in there. It's some trauma that's sitting in his gut that rears his ugly head when you represent what I just came from.
You know, I know we can talk all day. I know we've been, and man, this is fire, man. You're doing great work. I mean, you mentioned something that just always so super important to me, and you know, I think some of us, and I'm critical of a lot of people, myself included, making sure I'm always doing being the best version of myself. But one of the things I always talk about is, you know, people who get these names and these titles, and you know, I have a doctorate, right? And my students, when I was principal of the school, started calling me Unc.
Yeah.
They still to this day. People were like, why are you letting them call you uncle? Do you know what that means?
Yeah.
For them to say, like, I ain't worried about you saying Dr. Lewis, they Uncle Doc, or like to this day. And I had to help people understand, like, that is much better than anything they can call me, because they can call me some other stuff too. But they're calling me Unc. Yeah. And literally the whole, a number of my students was calling me that. And that felt so much more important to me, because they told me there was a relationship there. Yeah, you Unc. Student connectivity. And let me say, and let me tell you what I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna disrespect Unc. I'm gonna go through a wall for Unc. I'm gonna make sure we're gonna be on point with Unc. I'm gonna do my work for right? That's the community that you're trying to build. So when we get so caught up, no, you're gonna call me this, you're gonna call me that, we're missing the whole purpose of why we even trying to connect with kids. Yeah, they know I got a PhD, but I don't care nothing about that. I didn't get that for y'all. So take that, please call me. Man, when they do that I felt so good. I'm telling you, I had to tell grown adults, black folks, like, look, you know, it's like, I don't care about that. So the work that you're doing, man, and you said something else that was important. We talked about this in the last episode, but I ain't scared of kids. You know, and I've been talking about, so many people are afraid of our kids. So many people. And I'll say this because you've been on this all day. We got so many people that should not be in front of these children. It is way too many. Yeah. Right? And I am on a mission to call it out. I'm on a mission to, if you're going to be in front of the kids, you're going to be held accountable. Yeah. Right? Because we're accountable to them. Yeah. And I appreciate that you're out here doing this work, man, and River Rouge. Like, it is extremely important. Your heart is in it. Your passion is in it. we got to bring you back.
Man, anytime.
We got to bring you back. Like, you the community, like, man, you are doing the work. You're not just talking about it. You're using your resources appropriately. Yeah. Right? And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So many of us get this, and not, get these resources, and we do not utilize it.
Right.
We keep it amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
I said, if everybody kept it within their own family, if Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and everybody else just take care of their family, they own internal.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and we got in Black folk, we get something. I gotta make sure my yes, you can do that and this, right? And if those people who were before us did not do and sacrifice and do the work, we wouldn't be here before you today, right? And so we got to be how do we do more, right? Because it is enough work to be done out here.
Yes.
Like this brother would like. So before we go, I want you to tell us how we can support, how someone can reach out to your foundation.
Man, the foundation, that whole thing is that's the 5 to 9. That's my turkey drive primarily to where we. Myself, Derek Coleman, he played for the Philadelphia 76ers. And we started with 200 turkeys over on Linwood and Taylor. Now we're doing 5,000 annually downriver because there's no grocery store. There's no anchor grocery store. There's no dentist. There's small things that they don't have in that community, and the need is even greater. We do a mobile food pantry, so folks can come out and volunteer on Wednesdays. When we feed, we fed over 10 million meals, passed out over 10 million meals in the last 3 years. The line is ridiculous. We start at 9 a.m. every Wednesday. People are lined up at 6 o'clock, coming from Monroe, from Taylor, from Ypsilanti to Little Old River Rouge to get these resources to take back to their family. And I'll say this, Doc, one of the things when we serving people, you got to serve them, man, with empathy and compassion, no judgment, man, because poverty has no zip code. We're all one phone call, one email away from things being different. So when I see my Chaldean brothers and sisters in line, young, white, old, black, you name it, in line, they never thought they would see themselves in a food pantry line. What I want to do down the road as I expand the foundation, maybe we do another turkey drive on the west side. But at the same time, is being able to help brothers with anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, starting a male group that we can sit down and have real conversation in a safe space, bro.
Yeah, we got to get you connected, man, with a Pillar in Pride, too, because we're going out to his shop in 2 weeks. Yep. Tyree Williams, he's out on the west side, on I guess it's the west side. It's off Woodward and 7 Mile. I'm from Chicago. I've been here for 2 years, but I'm from Chicago. I'll be like,
it's not even.
Yeah, I don't know.
Geographically,
that's west side. That's by Chris side. That's west side. But we're meeting with him, and he has his wellness center, this store. And I think it's an opportunity for us all brothers to connect, man. We want to BMEA, want to support. I think bringing in some of the leadership team out there to help with the kitchen on a Wednesday. Like, we're going to be connected. Yeah. We're going to figure this out. Because we want to be able to support and do the work because this is important. So, shout out to you, man. Congratulations again, man. It's been great. Payne, I know you can go ahead and close us out because I want to keep talking. I know it's been about an hour. But this brother here is He's an angel, man, and God has put him on earth to do this work, man. I don't say that to a lot of people. So continue to do your work, man.
Thank you.
I'm proud to know you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. And so humble to know you and appreciative of the work that you're doing for the kids, man. Because I'm doing a lot of work, but I'm always concerned about every single kid I hear. I'm like, do we have the right people in front of them? And anybody I know you're connected to, you're the right person. And if you know the right person, you know the people in there ain't the right people, you're going to let them know.
Yeah, absolutely.
You ain't the right person.
You in the way. Go. Get out the way, man. Get out the way.
Go ahead, Payne. Close us out.
No, man, absolutely. We know a lot of community organizations, but we wanted to give you your flowers because you are doing the work. And I know you don't do it for recognition, but I think it's important for people to know about these stories, to know that these things are possible so that it can be replicated, right? And there ain't 100 youth, but we want to inspire the next generation to be, their own version of that, right? So they can help their own community, the River Rouges, the Oak Parks, the Detroits. So once again, man, thank you for the work that you do. We are excited to celebrate you at the gala. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be a great time. We ain't even got to... I'm just going to talk about how great it's going to be. It's already sold out. You can't got any tickets, so people just going to have to watch from the outside in. But I'm excited about that. Once again, thank you for coming. We'll be back next week with another episode of the BMEA Podcast. Anything before we go?
Man, just want to shout out the River Rouge community, man. Obviously, the superintendent, deputy soup, the leadership that created a space that allowed me to build with these young people,
That's important.
and to be able to do what we do every day, because this is a thankless position. But also to those volunteers who've been out there on every Wednesday for the last 3 years, rain, sleet, or snow, because we know that if we don't show up, folks don't eat, man.
Yeah.
And Matthew 25:35 say, "For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat." It's real simple.
Amen. Amen.
Hey
Look,
man, thank you for shouting them out, because I think that's important, man. Because oftentimes superintendents get caught up in their own head and they don't let people who doing the work for real get into their spaces. And I know that because I'm across this country, and I know there's people who are not willing to let you come in and do the work. So shout out to the leadership team, every reviews for that, and I hope there's more communities that actually really want people to do the work and spending the money the right way.
There you go.
But this ain't the time for that today, so I'm gonna be quiet and get us on off of here.
putting the right people in front of our kids.
Yep.
More of a story. This has been another episode of the BMEA Podcast. We will see you all next week. Peace and love.
You are now listening.
You are now listening to the Black Male Educators Alliance podcast.
Lifting our voices.
Lifting our voices.